We got some rockets that my son Christopher built a launch over here, so if any of the kids want to come and try their hand at launching a rocket, you're welcome to do it.
With our family had more grandchildren, up to 13, and so we were grateful for that. The only thing that we miss is they're all scattered across the country, and we don't see them very often, but we're grateful for all of them. Margaret's family, anything? Yes, Chris and Michael are here. They're both going to school. Okay. And then Roseanne's family, or David's family, I think most of them still live down in Texas. Anyone? Yes.
Yeah. David's widow calls Margaret every Sunday. She's really faithful. But they had 8 children. My brothers are very prolific. And they have one who's in medical school in Missouri. They have one who just moved to Maryland. And it was really exciting because she'd been married for 13 years and they'd been trying to have a child, and they finally found out they were pregnant. So they were very happy. So that was exciting. Let's see, Roseanne still lives on the ranch that David bought and has cattle and takes care of sick cows and does all kinds of stuff that just amazes me. And her oldest son Scott just moved back there from Indiana, and he is helping her to run the farm now that she's getting older. And then the rest of her children, I guess, do still live in Texas. I couldn't tell you how many grandchildren he has because it's too many to count.
And then of course, Kathy's here, and she did a lot of the arrangements for the picnic. And Claudia, they still live in Boulder. They both Dennis have retired and enjoying retirement. Paul and Claudia just got published the book and Kathy didn't get any more information about that at all. And Kathy's still living here, still enjoying retirement as well. And takes care of Mom, Barbara, and Kathy do a great job. Appreciate that. So that's that. I'll just say, before I turn the mic over to other people, I'll say one thing. I was, and I'm a little teary-eyed when I get speaking about things that are close to me, but I was looking at the picture of Grandma and Grandpa. It's in Mom's room, and I'm one of my favorites. And I was privileged to live next to them for close to a year. They were sort of like my second parents. And just thinking this week, I thought about coming here, but what a great blessing it is. That was to descend with such great people. And I'm just very, very grateful for all that they example they set. And appreciate them all, appreciate them. And so if any other one of the Dad's family or John's family, and anybody who decided who's going to speak.
Jeannie, and I'm Ned's daughter, Ned and Helen Jean's daughter. And I'll just say a little bit about my family, and then my brother Jeff will talk about his family. But we live in Kaysville, Utah, and I was talking to Mark and Barbara, and they said that Mel Blood grew up in Kaysville, and that his, would it be your great-grandfather, Mark, that was the governor? Uncle, great-uncle. And what was his first name that became the governor? Henry Blood. So that was interesting to know that, because there's a lot of history in Kaysville about the Blood family, and they're connected with them. But I have 3 children, and my oldest, Jimmy, they're in Syracuse, and they have 2 little ones, and they're doing well. Jimmy's been working, and Danielle's going to school. Then my daughter Hannah, they live up in Tremonton, and she's my agricultural daughter, and they have horses of their own, and they grow their own alfalfa, and they have gathered their own eggs from their own chicken, and this year they want to get a cow and raise it for beef and a pig. So my daughter's really interesting that way. She's a lot of fun. And they have one, and I'm expecting one on the way. Then my youngest son, Hiram, and his wife, Parker, they're at Brigham Young University, and he's going to the J. Reuben Clark School of Law. So he's down south, and Cougars have been doing really good in their football season. So I'm a BYU person too. I graduated there long ago. But I just wanted to say how thankful I am, and when I received this invitation from Kathy, I just get so excited in my heart to have these reunions. It's just a genuine feeling, like I get to see my cousins and my aunt and my dad and my cousins and their dear families, and I just can hardly wait. I put it on my calendar, and I just look forward to it so much. So thank you all for coming, and everyone's always made an effort to keep coming, and I too am. My dad just said to me just moments before I got up, he said, I am glad that I am from this family. And he looked all around and he said, this is a very good family, and I'm proud to be a part of this group. And I thought that was just really cool that Dad would say that on this day. And my dad, Ned, turned 91 in June 23rd, so he's going strong, and he lives in Salt Lake City. And maybe a little bit later I'll give Dad the mic if you want to say something. He loves the University of Utah, so we always go back and forth about that. Don't we, Andy? Oh, God, I know. We have a family rivalry. But I just feel like Mark, and I'm so grateful for Grandmother. I know that my curly hair comes from Grandmother Catherine Williams, and I got a lot of natural curl, and when I look at her picture, she's 4'11", and I'm 5'2", almost 3, but I'm shrinking. But I know that I inherited that curly hair from her, and I just remember always being close to her and what she taught me. I went there once a week. My mom would take me, and I got the privilege of sewing with Grandmother, and she taught me how to make little aprons or hot pads, and I always got to go through her button box, and she'd always give me a little cheese glass of 7-Up. So it was a happy time for me, and I have cherished memories. And Grandpa was always in the trees, pruning the trees, spraying the trees, and he would always wave to me, and he had his own orchard, and he was always so kind, and sometimes he'd come down and give me a hug. He was always a kind man, so I feel like Mark, I just have really tender memories of my dear Williams grandparents. I'm a Williams through and through, so thank you.
Jeff, Ned's oldest son, and this is the newest grandson. This is Sarah and Andy's little boy Tyler. He was born just a week ago, So we're happy he's here, and Sarah was nice enough to let me hold him. But my family, my wife Diane, everybody knows Diane, and then my oldest daughter Sarah, who's the mother of Tyler, right there, and her husband Andy, and they live in North Salt Lake. And then where's the kid? Well, this is Micah. He's Sarah and Andy's first boy. Katie's out there. And then they've got Sydney. There's Sydney. Wave, Sydney. There's Sid. And then we've got Joshua's out here in the yellow. And that's Sarah in the blue. And then we've got Tyler here. And then next is Jeffrey, my son Jeffrey. He's not here this evening. He's at home. Christopher is here. He was the rocket man. Are you here, Chris? Right here. Oh yeah, and his wife, Christina. Hold your hands up so they can see you guys. And they are has anybody heard of Comic-Con? These guys are like third-degree Comic-Con. They went every day with a different costume. They won second prize in their costume contest, and I mean they're amazing the things they do. And they anyway they're very good when it comes to and creative. And then after Christopher we have Emily. Emily, stand up. And her little girl, where's Elizabeth? Elizabeth is out with Joshua. Those are cousins. See, they hug each other. We teach their father or grandfather taught them that. And then her husband Jeremy, who just passed the bar today. That's awesome. And then my daughter Becky, and her husband Brian, Rachel, right there. They live down in Spanish Fort, and they have, where's Cal? They have a little boy Cal somewhere. Oh, he's over at the tree. And then they have Ellie, and Ellie's right there. So that's our crew, and we're happy to be part of this family too. I remember when my favorite thing was to go to Mark at Grandma and Grandpa's house, because Mark and Uncle Mel lived next door, and they had this gigantic tree. Who remembers the tree? And Mark was the master, but he would let me climb the tree. It had this one branch that extended about 30 feet horizontally, and little people could actually get on the tree there, and then you could spend days in that tree. But did anyone ever fall out of it and break it?
I fell out there and busted my spleen.
Yeah, Barbara had to have her spleen out. It was a big tree, but it was fun. And I got my hair from Grandfather Williams. Jeannie got her curly hair, and I got no hair. But I'm grateful for my family, and we love all you guys, and that's it for. Is there anything I missed? Oh, David and Lisa, that Dave had to work. David works up at the Stein Erickson Lodge in Park City, and he had to work today. And that's Dad's other child and his wife Lisa. That's it for us. Thank you.
I forgot to mention when I was up here that I've got a son who just sent out on a mission. He's serving in Colorado State, or Colorado Springs. That's good. Okay, there we go. So have we got a representative for John?
Yes.
Well, my name is Tim. I'm the sixth child of John and Marge, and there's 6 of us that are still surviving. We've had 2 brothers that have passed on, Eric and John Thomas. As far as those who are here tonight, I guess everybody's here. Yeah, it looks like we've got all 6 of us that are here tonight. Nancy is the oldest. Her husband is Don. They're over here on this north table with all of their their children and grandchildren. And then we got Sherman over here. And Sherman, your family's kind of scattered amongst us as well. Oh, we just have Lisa tonight, don't we? They're up at Utah State, is that where they are? Okay. Spencer and Amy. Amy just got back from a mission, and they're up at Utah State. And then we've got Sally, I guess you're next in line, right? So we've got Sally and her crew over here, and they're all doing well. Everybody's happy and healthy, and knock on wood, right? We're all doing well over there. And then we've got Ann. Ann's over here with her family. And then I'm next. And all of my kids were busy doing things tonight, and so none of them were able to come. I have 4 children and 7 grandchildren. And one is moving, one is celebrating their wedding anniversary tonight. And the other one had a birthday party in their family that they're attending. So anyway, and the other one is working, but I'm glad to be here and to feel of your spirit. Also, we've got Ben back there. Ben is the youngest, and his family is here. I guess you've got Mark over there on the video. Or no, excuse, that's Mike. Where's Mark? I knew Mark was here too. Where is he? Is he out here he's out playing?
Yep.
So Mark's out playing somewhere. And then, who else do we have here tonight?
Diane, she's not here.
Diane's working, or?
We have previous things for friends.
Okay. And then Brian's here somewhere. I saw him. Okay. All right, they're up on the hill. Anyway, we're on, huh? I said Sally, didn't I? Yeah. Anybody I missed? Okay. But we're grateful to be a member of this family as well. And for those of you who think that our genealogy is finished, I've done 10 baptisms this year for some of our past relatives, and gone through and done the initiatory and the endowment and everything. So there still is work out there to be done. Our direct line might be finished pretty well, but there's cousins and uncles and aunts that still need to have the work done. And I'm grateful that we have this opportunity to do it. I do have some letters here if anybody's interested, of Hiram Bradley, grandmother's dad, that he wrote while he was away. I found these on the internet. Anybody interested in looking for those things, you can just Google Hiram Bradley Clausen Jr. and you can find those letters there. So if anybody's interested in that, you can look those up as well. Did I miss anybody or anything? Anybody have anything else to say from our group? Anyway, we're very honored and blessed to be a member of this family as well. Thank you.
I guess that Elizabeth Bradley family, Elton's here, and so I assume he's the one who do it.
Well, it's good to be here. Thanks to the organizers of tonight. Nice job for us. Now, it's wonderful to see everybody here. I look forward to this every year, believe it or not. Every year I look forward to this. The family, my family, the Phillips family is on St. George. And Dee's family is here. I don't know where Dee is, and Dion. And Susan and Mike are in Phoenix, in Mesa. And half of their kids are down there with them. I'm lucky tonight to have Joni here I got the Williams family curse. I mean, I can't remember my dad standing up, but he doesn't come to tears. Even when he taught our Sunday school class, when I was 8 years old, he cried through the lesson. He was a wonderful man. And it's an inspiration to see. Ned and Margaret here. We're blessed to have them with us. We have my Andrea and Molly here, and Andrea's husband Scott, and their son Maddox, and Molly's here with Audrey, and our Stacy, her oldest son is living with his wife in our basement. That's Logan and Annie. And their next child, Stacy's child, is Katie, and she's on a mission up in Washington. She has another 6 months before even that, 5 months probably before she gets released. And she just loves it. It's fun to get her letters. And their youngest child, Katie, or not Katie, but Riley just had surgery on her back they put a rod up her back to straighten up her back, and so she's trying to recoup from that. It's pretty painful. So Stacy's taking care of her. Anyway, geez, it's good to see everybody, isn't it? Yay! It's a big yay. I love all of you very much. Becky and Rosemary, Becky's trying to get her nursing degree, and so she works a job and goes to school in nursing. She's got 2 more quarters. Rosemary, she's up in Farmington. I don't know where they are. Dee and this family, they're just pikers for not coming out tonight. But I still love them, but I'll have to get out. It's good to see everybody here. I love you all. Thank you.
When Tim was talking about finding those letters on the internet, it reminded me that my son Chris had to do a report on an ancestor in his institute class, and that was a pioneer. And so I remembered doing a report on Fanny Marie Decker when I was, and she married Barrymore's Little. So, and when I was back in Nauvoo, I looked up Forefather Isaac Decker and went and saw where he owned land in Nauvoo. But anyway, we looked Isaac Decker up, and there was a very interesting story that I had never heard before. He was in Kirtland with, and was well acquainted with the prophet Joseph Smith. And he was quite a wealthy farmer. He had a very good farm, and he was quite wealthy. He had a lot of land that was worth a lot of money. And when the Kirtland Safety Society failed, and Joseph Smith was in desperate need of money, he gave everything he had to the prophet Joseph Smith. He just went up and gave it to him. And kind of as a result of that, his wife left him with their first child. And this was his first wife, and that's when he married Harriet, who was our ancestor. But I just thought that was a wonderful story, and I had never heard that story before. And his first son, his first wife became the polygamous wife of Lorenzo Young, who was Brigham Young's brother. And so his first son, Isaac Decker Jr., came out in that very first wagon train with Brigham Young. So just interesting facts about ancestors that I had never heard that story before. But what a wonderful story and testimony to what good ancestors, what faithful ancestors we have.
Tell me about the book. Tell me about the book you guys put together.
Can you come up, Jack? No, sure.
The tickets.
Oh, yeah, sign up sheets here.
I hope everyone has seen the book we have, Descendants of George and Catherine. My wife, Ivana, has been working on this for 2 or 3 years, coaxing people to send a picture and be a part of the book. And it's not up to date. It goes out of date almost daily, as you can see. But it's a snapshot of time for all of us. And if you haven't seen it yet, it'll be down there on the table. We have the sharing food on by the rolls. You can have a copy of it on the electronic email. There's no charge for it. All we need is your email address. Or if you'd like to get a hard copy, that's $5. That includes postage. And a lot of work, a lot of blood, sweat, and tears went into it. It's a treasure. Stand up.
Well, is there anybody else who wants to have the mic? We're certainly listening. Uncle Nate wants to
I don't know why they're giving it to me. It's kind of gone on too long. Let's end it with a J. Golden Kimball joke. He was standing with his back to Zions Bank with a reporter, newspaper reporter from New York. And the reporter said, "Mr. Kimball, if Jesus is going to come in a little while, will that angel up on top of the temple blow that horn?" And Jay Golden said, "Oh, hell no. If he blew that horn, we'd have shit all over South Temple."
I always remember Uncle Ned made any gathering notes, and I appreciate it. I love it very much. Again, just want to thank everybody for being here, and hope that you enjoyed it. And hope that you'll come back next year and bring more of the family.
Who's in charge next year?
Brad is coming.
Okay, so we need to give some money to help.
Yeah, money to Eldridge.
Okay.
Heidi.